big fight here in Canada, a country that historically has been pretty good to Hawaiian fighters. So what are the emotions here that now that it's just pay-per-view fight week for you?
Man, I have nothing but good things to say about Canada. Initially, I wasn't like too pumped about it, but as soon as I flew into this airport and flew into this amazing city and how beautiful it is, it was just a fresh win, you know. Just getting to breathe some good air, and it's like PEDs, if whatever that feels like.
So when Max refers to Canada's 10th island, you kind of get what he's talking about now?
Yes, I live in the 9th island, so now we're in the 10th island, so yep.
And what do you make of Nate as an opponent? He was in here earlier, and he said he had saw your, derail the train post, and he's just like, oh, you should come up with something better. So I've never heard that before. But what do you make of him as an opponent?
He's a great opponent. Nate's a guy. He's got a ton of experience. He's held belts. He's fought 5 rounds in other promotions, and I'm honestly just looking forward to the fight, man. It's going to be an exciting fight. It's almost impossible for it to be a boring fight. It should be fireworks, man. I'm well prepared. I know he's well prepared. He's sacrificed a lot. I've sacrificed a lot. And the only thing we got left to do is fight on Saturday night.
So kind of going off of that, I know you want these higher-ranked opponents, but if they don't offer you those, is this the type of fight that you're looking for? Just like you said, there's almost no chance this fight isn't exciting.
You know what? I mean, I've been in every fight I'm in is going to be an exciting fight. Just the way my style is, and yeah, the way Nate's style is. Like, he brings it every single fight, and so do I. As far as the rankings go right now, like I'm just honestly really trying to go out there and rebuild myself, rebuild my name, rebuild my brand. If I went out and fought number 4 and won, cool, big deal. Like it doesn't really do me anything. It's not going to earn me a title shot right away. I'm all about winning and racking up those wins. You know, I've been on a 6-fight winning streak in the past, and you know, I want to get back to that. I want to get back to just a good long winning streak before, you know, I'm fighting, you know, the top 5 guys and eventually work my way back up to the belt.
And Nate's obviously grown a lot in popularity over his last few. He even said, people are starting to recognize him a lot more. So do you think the hype is justified after watching his last few fights?
For sure. You know, Nate, aside from him being my adversary and a guy that I'm going to fight, like, I'm a fan because I'm a fan of the sport. Like, I enjoy watching him fight. He does bring a lot of excitement. He brings excitement on the mic. He cuts promos. He's just fun overall to watch. You know, he'll sacrifice even positions and doing stuff just to be entertaining, to entertain the fans, entertain the media, and essentially build his brand. So, yeah, man, Nate's a great opponent, and I'm looking forward to fighting him on Saturday.
And the last question for me, I was going through your Instagram, and I think I saw your 2-year-old on a skateboard. Do you think that's a little too young to be rolling around out there?
Nah, I mean, I skated my whole life, and so I'm aware of, you know, his boundaries and what he's kind of capable of, and you know, I'm there for him if he falls, but sometimes kids got to fall too to learn. And yeah, man, it's just Bam's growing, and he's going to be great in whatever he wants to do.
Good, Dan, right here to your left. Just a quick one. I mean, I saw your social media post with the cookie captioned, you might be doing 155. I mean, was that just having fun, or is there a nugget of truth to maybe you would do 155?
Yeah, they announced my fight on the broadcast, and it said lightweight bout. And, I mean, at that time, I was like, hey, if this is, I actually had to go back and check my bout agreement to make sure. I was like, all right, it's still 145 for sure. But yeah, I just, you know, made some light about it. And, but of course, you know, we sacrifice so much, you know, into the sport, and, you know, it's not fun cutting weight, whether it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or 15 pounds. Like, it's never fun. And it's honestly, if 145ers agreed to fight at, you know, whatever their natural weight is, like, it would create more longevity for the sport. I think it would be more entertaining because we would just feel a little more full and have a little more juice and not be cutting down the whole entire camp and dieting just to, you know, make a certain weight class. But at the same time, you know, this whole sport is about discipline, and discipline is where I get a lot of confidence from, and discipline is where, where I feel strong. So, I'm completely fine cutting down to the weight class that I signed my bout agreement to fight in. So, but you never know, man. Like, I would definitely do 155 down the road, even though I am of a shorter stature. Maybe I don't fit the frame, but there's tall guys at 135. There's big guys at, tall guys at 145. I believe I have the power to transfer over, and I can knock out an 85er if you put me in there. But that's just where we are.
Is there a dream fight, something that you would love at 155 if the opportunity arose?
Honestly, I've never really thought about it. No, I don't have no dream fight.
Fair enough.
Dan over here.
Not Khabib.
Dan, you trained with Jeremy Kennedy, who's from here originally. Did he give you any tips or any things to kind of know coming here for the first time?
Hey, James. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy's man, he's a great training partner. Great look. He helped me a ton in the going into the Damon Jackson fight. And this fight, he was in Thailand for quite a bit, but he was there in the beginning of camp. I think his wife sent my wife a bunch of good spots to eat and places to go check out. But man, I just open up my freaking hotel window, and that's all I need to be happy. Like, it's just to see green and see water, just makes me happy. But definitely, I got some places to go check out, after the fight and whatnot.
You've never been finished in your career. Nate's typically a finisher, and you've proven to be durable, throughout your career. I know you don't like to get hit, but how much of an advantage is that's one path to victory that may not happen for him just because you haven't been finished before?
I mean, honestly, the way every fighter has to kind of hype themselves up and build themselves up, to be the guy to do the thing, and that's great. He needs to have that chip on his shoulder to be the first guy to go out there and try to finish me. But for me, just that durability is a great, it's not even so much my chin and my head. I think it's my heart and my willpower and my mind that keeps me in the fight, because I've been hit, I've been rocked, I've been shooken up, I've been almost I've almost been choked out in fights. I've been in dangerous situations, but my mind and my willpower is what keeps me going and what drives me, and essentially it comes down to my heart to stay in this fight.
Who did you mainly work with this camp as far as training partners?
I did a lot of work with Julian Erosa. He was a guy who's been in there with my opponent. I try not to get too technical as far as having an exact look, but a guy he's been in there with, he's good at, he could give me a look like Nate. He's a little longer, he's dangerous, he's got good knees, good kicks, good chokes. So it keeps me on my toes. But, I just try to work with everyone and get the best of everyone. I work with great strikers, great boxers, great wrestlers, great jiu-jitsu guys, and just get looks from every single scenario so that way I'm well prepared when I fight Nate.
You had a huge win in your last fight, and nothing against him at all, but Nate's obviously a pretty popular fighter. People like watching him fight. Do you feel like this could be somewhat of not a coming out party because people have seen you fight, but I know you had the losing streak. You've had some tough opponents in that losing streak. Do you feel like this is an opportunity to remind people that you're still a contender in this division?
Definitely. I am still a contender in this division, and it's not necessarily a sense to prove to people or prove to the world. It's still proving to myself. I step in here each day to prove to myself that I can be great at something, and that's what it's all about. It's just becoming a better version of me. I was watching an old highlight of myself. It was Spencer wrote it. The Rise of Dan Ige. It was a cool video. You guys find it on YouTube. UFC published it, and I was watching it with my son just to kind of explain to him, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm leaving. Dada's going. I'm gonna go fight. And so we watched it, and you could see the evolution, even in interviews, from the Contender Series till all the way up to, I believe, the Gavin Tucker fight in that little highlight itself. But just the evolution of a man, and and my wife was telling me, like, look how much you've grown from there to then. And then I was telling her, I was like, I've grown from then to now, like, so much. And that's what it's all about. It's just becoming a better human, a better person, and having more of a purpose, you know, in the sport rather than just winning and becoming a champion. You know, I'm here to make an impact and to better myself as a man.
You got a long career still left. I know you've mentioned in the past about maybe helping fighters out, maybe on the management side. Is that something you're still interested in?
For sure. You know, I help guys every day. You know, I help my team. I help kids that are, you know, coming up, and just I'm here to give advice. You know, I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel to my brothers and sisters that or just people that are in need of help. You know, that's what I believe I'm put on this earth to do. And definitely as a career, I haven't really thought too much into it, but I definitely have a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge. A lot of things I would do differently, a lot of things I would do the same that I learned through, you know, working in the management field. But, you know, I'm self-managed right now. Like, I manage myself, and I've been self-managed since the Korean Zombie fight. And I've grown a lot in that sense too. And I really feel like I have to put myself out there and gain that experience for myself, for people down the line to respect me, someone that's competed at the highest level, but also someone who's managed himself at the highest level. And, you know, there's a lot of things. It's a lot of work, you know, like to go out there and grind and get sponsors for myself. Like right now, my training and everything takes priority. Like I may not be getting that because I'm not out there grinding and hustling for it. But if I put that same energy that I put into my approach in this game, like I know I can be a great manager down the road if that's something I choose to do.
And just last one for me. Obviously, next month we got the big title fight, Alex Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez. How do you see that fight playing out?
I mean, I'm not I hate making predictions. I'm not a big prediction guy, but you know, Alex, he's just so dominant as a champion, and Yair has that just the ability to surprise, and he's so dynamic and explosive, and he could do 720 tornado kicks and, you know, cartwheels and whatever and flying triangles, and he just has that ability to surprise you and finish you at any moment. But if I had to pick, I would go with the champ, Volk.
All right. Speaking of predictions, I know you just said you're not really good on doing them, but who do you have for the main event for Nunes and Aldana?
Again, I mean, this fight game is so crazy. You know, I may be a big favorite heading into this fight, but dude, the odds don't matter. This is fighting. This is 50-50. You know, one punch, I could get knocked out. He could get knocked out. Amanda Nunes and Aldana, like, dude, they're both such great female athletes, and they're both capable of winning. I don't want to make a prediction there, but you know, you always want to root for the underdog. It's just kind of like how I've been my whole life, even myself. Like, I'm a favorite going into this, but I still have that underdog mentality because I've been an underdog from day one. I've been doubted from day one, and the odds don't matter.
Question to your left. You were talking about your background as a skater earlier. Are there any parallels between the discipline of skating and the discipline of martial arts?
No, I wasn't a disciplined skater. I was just a street kid, you know, hood rat, doing hood rat things with my friends, running around, skipping school, going to the skate park instead. But I did learn a lot, you know. I learned how to, you learn body awareness, and you learn how to run fast if you got to run fast.
Dan here, under right, Dan. I know the losing streak weighed heavy on you, that 22 months, but what did coming through that and getting that victory over Damon teach you about yourself and about your abilities going forward as you now progress forward from there?
Honestly, at the time it sucked, but I'm super grateful for that season because I made it through, you know. I'm not in that hole anymore. I made it through. I've crawled myself out of that hole, and dude, I literally diagnosed every single thing possible about me from like down to my childhood. You know, I dug deep. I dug really deep and just learned about myself. And throughout that whole process, like, it wasn't about like, okay, do I need to go harder in S&C, or do I need to wrestle more? Do I need to, do more volume in my punching? It came more down to working on my personal life than it did working in the gym, if that makes sense. And me working on my personal life and just working on refortifying my mind. I've always been like the stigma, son of a Navy SEAL. I have to be this like super tough guy, tough face. But at the end of the day, I'm a human, just like we all are. And we all have thoughts. We all have emotions. We all have, negative thoughts about ourselves. And the ability to deal with those thoughts and how do we overcome them, and how do we get better out of circumstance. I never let a circumstance define me or who I am, but I always try to make the best out of the circumstance and come out stronger on the other side. So yeah, that 22-month season of losing was hard, especially when everything I do and the amount of time that I sacrifice to this game, not only in training, but sleep, nutrition, recovery, mindful training, doing ice baths, doing sauna, doing red light, doing hyperbaric, doing whatever nutrition I probably already named that. Everything. I tick every box, and to still fall short, you're definitely going to question yourself. Like, am I good? Am I good enough? Can I really do this? But my philosophy is, if you never quit, you're going to win. So here I am. Thanks, guys.